obvious that the Niners' two biggest chips right now, it's not the 12th pick. It's two players, Nick Bosa and George Kittle. Those are the two most valuable assets in the Niners organization. So let's just have a theoretical conversation. We're not trading them. We're just determining what is the minimum you would give up those guys for, considering they're so great. Let's start with Bosa. What is the minimum you would trade Nick Bosa for, and why?
Who wants to
go first? I can start off.
Okay.
Minimum I would trade Nick Bosa for is at least 3 first-round picks, if not more. He has, 3 more years under his contract? He'll probably only play under 2 of those because you probably have to re-up him before that 5th year. But I'm not trading him for a lot. Khalil Mack got 2 firsts. I think Nick Bosa, at this point of his career where Khalil Mack was much further into his contract and needed a big contract afterwards, whatever team traded for him would have 2 years of a very cheap salary for what his value is. You have to at least give me 3 first-round picks. If it's only 2 first-round picks, I need 3 second-round picks. And that's because I don't want to trade Nick Bosa unless you really wow me. I'm not trading a guy for what his value is if he fits with what my current needs are. I'm trading a guy for overvalue. And if he's in the last year of his contract, obviously things would change in what his value is. But what his salary is, he's definitely more important than 2 first-round picks, in my opinion. I'd need 3.
Yeah, I think it would depend what those first rounders are. If you're telling me it's like after 15, 32, right, I'm probably going to demand more than that. But if you're telling me I get a guaranteed top 10 right now, and the first it's probably going to be a 10 to 20, a minimum of 2 firsts in that case. Okay. Minimum of 2 firsts, because I'm going to use the Khalil Mack argument against Maverick. Yeah, he makes a point that, hey, he has more cost control, but he wasn't as solidified as Khalil Mack. He only had 1 good year, defensive rookie of the year. At least Mack at that time, defensive player of the year. He was an all-pro, multiple positions, Pro Bowl. In his ascension, his ceiling, he just kept getting better and better every year, his trajectory. And best part of all, no injury concerns. Nick Bosa does have injury concerns. So if you can get 2, that feels like a win, especially if one of those is a top 10. So it's great. It's like, cool. Now we don't have cost control. But I mean, it's like, do you really still want to give that money to someone who still has to earn these accolades? I mean, we all think he's going to be that, of course, but it's one thing where we think, it's another where you got to figure it out. So Khalil Mack, I don't think he touches that ceiling yet, because didn't the Raiders also give up a second rounder or something? The Bears also got a second rounder back. So I don't think something of that nuts, that kind of trade, but I think minimum of 2, especially if one of them is going to be a top 10.
I think it's a good point you bring up. Like, not all first round picks are the same.
Yep.
If it
weighted.
I mean, if you're trading, if the Niners are trading, well, if you're trading with, I don't know, some team that's good,
the
like
Colts, I'm not taking that trade.
And you're like thinking, well, I'm going to get a bunch of future firsts in the 20s. Like, yeah, I want 4 firsts from you. But think about it. What if you could trade, to me, the minimum I would trade, I would trade him to the Jets for number 2. And I probably would even trade him to the Dolphins for number 3. Because the way I look at it is, yeah, I mean, those are hugely.
You can get a quarterback.
Dude, what you can do with the 2 and 3 pick, the guys you can take there, the value you can get from trading down just 2 or 3 spots. Check it out on the trade value chart. It's crazy, and it's like, yeah, like those guys may not be as good as Nick Bosa, true, but look what happened with DeForest Buckner. It was the 7th pick in the draft, never missed a game, only improved. The Niners got a 13 back for him. I mean, that's all they could do. If you could get the same value that you got for a guy who has now torn his other ACL since then, I would have to look at that as a win, because to me, he might not even get you the 2. He might not even get you the 3 if a team is concerned about his injury history, not his injury history, but his injury pattern. If they're feeling like it's going to happen again, and he's going to miss time. Because to me, the reason I would be even interested in trading Bosa is I'm afraid of him coming back, getting injured again, and his value feeling like, I missed it. So that's why I would consider it. And if I could get the 2 from the Jets or the 3 from the Dolphins, I would take it. Now, is that not enough? Is that not enough?
I would argue it's not enough, just because the pass rush was decent last year without Bosa. Kerry Hyder did do well, but it did leave corners on an island at time, and Jason Verrett performed well when he was on an island. But if you're not going to be able to re-sign Verrett, and they're going to walk into next season with Emmanuel Mosley and J.C. Horn, or Emmanuel Mosley and your boy Patrick Surtain, is that how you say it? Yeah,
Surtain.
I said it right this time. So you would need a good pass rush, and Nick Bosa is definitely the best one. If it does free up some salary if they traded Bosa and wouldn't have to draft a corner, or they would then draft a corner and they could maybe use some of that money on a different edge rusher, but none would have the impact, at least in my opinion, of what Bosa can do in this season. And I agree with what Jose said, where Bosa at this point in his career isn't what Khalil Mack was when he was traded. But just to me, the position's just changing every year. And what I would get for Bosa, yeah, the second overall pick is very intriguing, but I would at least need another one if you're giving me the second pick and another mid-round pick, a second, third, fourth.
Well, the Jets do have 2 first-round picks this year. Maybe they would. Maybe they really like Bosa. Solid trade.
Me to admit it. Yeah,
it's gonna be 2. Okay.
Yeah, why not 2? You don't think you would do it? Plus, Grant, that point you made about when you say, "Oh, his value plummets in terms of a trade," but now it's also like, all right, great, his value plummets. Now we're forced to sign him, but guess what? He's going to cost a lot. He's going to cost a lot if he's at that stage of being an injury-prone player because you kind of stuck with him. You're going to let him walk.